Good morning, everyone. So, here is our second topic for MPE 5, Physiology of Exercise and Physical Activity. So, we're gonna connect now the physiology into exercise and physical activity. But before that, let's talk about again the meaning of physiology. When we say physiology, which also has a Greek origin, is the study of how organisms perform their vital function. So, meaning to say, yung physiology talaga is yung nasa loob or how it works. When we talk about anatomy, physiology and anatomy is connected to each other. When we talk about anatomy, it is the study of internal and external structures of the body and the physical relationships among body parts. When we talk about anatomy, we're talking about our structures o yung mga parts ng ating katawan. Kung ano ba yung function nito, ano ba yung connection nito sa ating ibang body parts. So, may konektado. Si physiology later on, pagkukumparahin natin si anatomy saka si physiology. Another meaning of anatomy, when you hear the word anatomy, has Greek origin also, just like physiology. A literal translation would be a cutting open. Anatomy comes from the word ana, meaning up or through, and tome, meaning cutting or incision. When we say anatomy, meaning to say we are cutting open or we are opening our body. Kasi pag binuksan natin yung ating katawan, lahat yan may meaning. Lahat yan may names na tinatawag. So, yun yung ibig sabihin ng cutting open or opening it through. So, yun po yung ating meaning ng anatomy. The relationship between anatomy and physiology, ayan, dito napapasok kung ano ba yung connection nila sa isa't isa or may relasyon ba talaga silang dalawa. Next, when we say anatomy and physiology are closely integrated both theoretically and practically. Ayan, pag sinabi nating anatomy and physiology, integrated, ibig sabihin magkadugtong sila or magkasama sila theoretically and practically. When we say theoretically, ibig sabihin sa mga books, connected na sila agad sa lahat ng meanings nila. And practically speaking, sa kung paano yung function nilang dalawa. May connection talaga sila. Anatomical information provides clues about probable functions and physiological mechanisms can be explained only in terms of the underlying anatomy. Meaning to say, pagka si anatomy, merong isang part ng katawan natin na masakit, may physiological mechanism tayong ma-explain kung bakit masakit yung isang part ng ating body. So, yun yung isang connection or relationship ng anatomy and physiology sa isa't isa. In terms of complementary discipline, anatomy is the study of the structure of the body parts, how they are organized, what they look like, and where they are located. It provides the blueprint of the body, while physiology is the study of the functions of those body parts, how they work individually and together to sustain life, and explains the mechanisms behind body functions. So yun nga, no, when we talk about anatomy, ito yung structure or yung kung ano ba yung katawan natin kapag walang mga laman or yung may laman man siya. So, kung paano siya ino-organize, kung ano ba yung itsura niya, saan ba siya nakalugar. So, ibig sabihin, pag sinabi nating blueprint, eto, when you hear the word blueprint sa bahay, di ba? Meron tayo sa mga bahay, eto nga hinahanap kay Pastor Kibuloy, yung blueprint nung kanyang ektaryang lugar doon sa Davao para makita kung ano yung meron doon sa lugar ni Kibuloy. So, ganun din yung ating body. Kaya nga po merong anatomy of the body. So, para malocate, asan ba si ganito? Asan ba yung kamay natin? Anong bang pwesto niya? Saan siya nakalagay? Naka-organize. Ganon din sa blueprint ng bahay. Organize din siya kung asan yung kwarto, asan yung pinto, asan ang bintana. Yun yung anatomy. While physiology dito naman itatakel kung ano na yung function ng ating mga body parts. For example, yung eyes natin, ang nakolocate siya sa upper. Andito siya sa taas ng ating mukha, sa taas ng ating katawan. Anong function niya? To blink, to see. So, yun po yun. And then, also in physiology, tinitingnan din natin dito sa physiology on how they work individually and as well together to sustain life. So, yun po yung complementary discipline relationship between anatomy and physiology. In terms of structure determines function, the physical structure of a body part or the anatomy often dictates its function. The physiology of a system or organ can often explain why it is anatomically structured in a certain way. In anatomy, for example, the unique shape and compositions of the bone in the hand allow for complex movement and dexterity. While in physiology, for instance, the folded structure of the brain's cortex increases the surface area, enhancing its functional capacity for processing information. Meaning to say, in structure, we will determine in structure that every individual is different from each other. So, yun po, no, in physical, meron tayong mga kakilala, merong sumosobra ang daliri sa kamay, merong maliit ang mga daliri. So, yun po yun, no, the structure, the relationship between physiology and anatomy through structure determines function. In clinical relevance naman, in medical practice, anatomy and physiology are essential for diagnosing and treating diseases. For instance, understanding the anatomy of blood vessels is crucial when studying the physiological process of blood circulation and diagnosing conditions like hypertension. So, in clinical relevance, anatomy and physiology, magkasama sila. Kasi doctors cannot diagnose a patient or cannot treat patient without knowing what kind of disease they have. So, in anatomy and physiology, essential siya kasi magagamit siya to treat other people. An example of this, yung blood vessel. Yung blood vessel natin is part of the anatomy. Pero, when you are studying physiology, dito mo na makikita kung paano ba yung blood circulation niya. Kung bakit ba nagkakaganon yung flow ng blood niya. Baka because of something else. Baka meron ng nangyayaring nangyayaring iba sa process ng katawan mo. Kaya nagkakaroon ng hypertension, meron bang kulang na flow or air sa inyong katawan. So, yun yung clinical relevance ni anatomy and physiology. Lastly, anatomy and physiology are two sides of the same coin. Anatomy provides the map of the body structures while physiology explains how this map operates to sustain life. Both are essential for a comprehensive understanding of the human body. So, that is the summarization of the importance or the the relationship between anatomy and physiology. Technically speaking, in a short explanation, anatomy is our body structure, while the physiology is the one who explain the meaning or how we operate to sustain our life. So that is anatomy and physiology. Now, let's proceed to the importance of physiology in sports. Ipasok na natin si physiology sa sports later on exercise. The first one, physiology plays a crucial role in sports and exercise, providing valuable insights that can enhance performance, prevent injuries, and improve overall fitness. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, when we talk about physiology, we are talking about the functions of our muscles, of our bones. So, yun po yun. So, pagkaalam natin yung functions ng different parts of our body, makakapag-prevent tayo ng such injuries na pwede nating kaharapin. No? So yun yun. And we can also improve our muscles, or we can improve our performance by means of knowing the functions of our body through physiology. When we talk about sports physiology naman, it investigates the effect of exercise on the function and structure of the body. An athlete's performance is measured by a sports physiologist to help them to of specialized tests, and specifically, okay, ulitin natin. An athlete's performance is measured by a sports physiologist with the help of special tests and specifically designed technology. So kung papansinin nyo, if you are watching a volleyball team or a basketball team, yung mga naglalaro sa atin sa NBA, PBA, PVL, or whatsoever, so kahit na anong sports, sa Olympics man yan, or whatsoever, na madaming pondo, meron kayong makikita doon na line-up of team na madaming coaches, may doctor sila, meron silang sariling physical therapist. So, dito papasok yon si sports physiologist. Having a sports physiologist, it can help them to know kung ano ba yung anong kailangang kung anong dapat bang i-secure sa isang athlete. For example, another example is nakikita niyo sila Alyssa Valdez, yung mga famous sports player natin or sports athlete natin na si Kaloy, yung madaming tape na nakalagay. Yung mga tape, ang tawag doon is kinesiotape. Yung kinesiotape can help the players kung paano yung ma-secure yung mga muscle niya, kasi baka may injury na siyang nararamdaman or meron na siyang pain na nararamdaman. So, medyo i-compress niya yung muscle doon para hindi mas maramdaman yung pain. So, yun. No? Si sports physiology, it investigates the effect of exercise on the function and structure of the body. So, sa isang atleta, may nag-check dyan. Di ba si Kaloy nga meron siyang sariling physical therapist kung paano magkakaroon ng improvement yung kanyang body. No? Another thing, sports physiology looks at how exercise alters the function and structure of the body. A physiologist monitors how well an athlete performs using special tests and technology that are designed to accurately measure their characteristics. These allow the doctor to advise coaches and athletes on their training and competitions to ensure that they are performing at their best level. Nung mga panahon na si Alyssa Valdez ay nagkaroon ng injury sa kanyang knee at inoperahan siya para makabalik siya sa kanyang tinatawag na regular programming or yung regular programming ng kanyang katawan sa paglalaro ng volleyball, dumaan siya sa different kind of tests and exercises or rehabilitation para bumalik yung kanyang best level of playing the game. So, yun yung help ng ating sa physiology sa sports. Another thing in exercise physiology, it has evolved from this study of anatomy and physiology and examines how the body structure and functions are altered when exposed to acute and chronic bouts of exercise. So, hindi naman kasi, for example, ako, nag-exercise ako, it doesn't mean na yung exercise na yon will apply to you for other people. Meaning to say, meron tayong mga specific exercises na applicable lang sa isang tao na minsan hindi siya or kadalasan hindi siya applicable sa ibang tao. Next one. Another importance of physiology in sports, it is primarily the study of how the body adapts physiologically to the acute or short-term stress of exercise and the chronic or long-term stress of physical training. Sports physiology further applies these concepts from exercise physiology specifically to training the athlete and enhancing the athlete performance within a specific sport. So, dito makikita natin na pag ang isang atleta or kayo na nag-exercise, pag nai-stress yung katawan nyo, meaning to say, or pag sumasakit yung katawan nyo, meaning to say, there is something going on with your body. Or merong nang nagiging progress yung inyong katawan. Ganun din pagka long-term stress na. So, the sports physiology helps you to know kung ano pa ba yung kailangang i-enhance or kung ano ba yung kailangang i-train pa sa isang katawan ng isang atleta. Exercise and sports physiology is about improving performance by knowing how the body functions during exercise and using scientific principles to allow your body to train better, perform better, and recover quicker. Studies in exercise physiology help athletes achieve greatness. So, hindi naman kasi si Kaloy, hindi naman si Carlos Yulo, hindi naman agad-agad nakuha niya yung kung ano yung meron siyang stamina o built ng katawan. So, meron siyang time, ano yung tawag doon? Meron siyang timeline, no? Na para hindi ka lang train ng train. Huwag mong sagarin yung katawan mo to train araw-araw. No? Kasi pag nagte-train ka araw-araw, hindi mo naman alam pala kung ano yung kailangan pang i-improve. So, dapat meron kang timeline or meron kang chine-check sa isang araw kung, ito, na-achieve ko na to. So, check na. Kailangan lang i-maintain ko siya. So, kailangan din, while you maintain the exercise or yung na-built mo na sa katawan mo, kailangan din, you need to recover from it as well for you to achieve your greatness potential as an athlete. Lastly, the physiological response to exercise is dependent on the intensity, duration, and frequency of the exercise as well as the environmental condition. So, lastly, sports physiology helps athletes achieve greatness in their performance. The body knows how to train and perform better and recover quickly. Number one to that is optimizing performance. Under optimizing performance, we have energy systems. Understanding how the body produces and utilizes energy helps in designing training programs that maximize endurance, strength, and speed. For instance, knowing how aerobic and anaerobic systems work enables athletes to train more effectively for their specific sports. Energy system. Kailangan mag-design ka ng sarili mong training program. Or your coach should have your own training program para ma-maximize natin at makita natin na kailangan ito yung i-develop ng isang atleta. While on muscle function, knowledge of muscle physiology helps in developing targeted strength and conditioning programs that improve muscle performance and coordination. So, yun tama, yung target nating strength sa isang muscle. So, para ma-improve natin yung mga movement natin. For example, si Carlos Yulo, kung papansinin niyo yung buong katawan niya, hindi naman siya appropriate sa kanya. Malaki yung upper body niya, muscle-muscle yung kanyang hita. Bakit kaya? It's because yung kanyang sports is ginagamitan ng muscle. Kailangan okay yung muscle niya, firm yung muscle niya kasi iba yung target nung kanyang performance, kagaya nung sa abdomen part niya, kaya sobrang ng abdomen niya, matigas yung abdomen niya kasi kailangan niyang i-maintain yung muscle doon. Number 2 is training adaptation. Adaptation mechanisms. Physiology explains how the body adapts to physical stress such as increased muscle mass or improved cardiovascular efficiency. This helps in structuring training regimens that enhance these adaptations over time. During training, syempre, for example, nag-start ka when you are going to a gym, for example, ang goal mo lang is mawala yung fats mo sa tiyan. So, habang lumiliit siya, ibig sabihin, nagfo-form na siya ng muscle, yung fats mo. So, may time doon na mai-stress yung katawan mo. So, sasakit yung katawan mo. At the same time, meron namang improvement na nangyayari sa training mo. For recovery processes, understanding the physiological processes involved in recovery, such as muscle repair and glycogen replenishment aids in designing recovery strategies to reduce fatigue and improve readiness for subsequent training sessions, competitions. So, in every training program, there will always be a recovery time. Hindi pwedeng walang recovery time kahit naman nagpupunta kayo sa gym. Kahit mag-gym kayo, kailangan sa isang buong linggo, meron dyang pahinga. Kasi kailangan yon ng katawan mo to recover dun sa stress na nangyayari during training. So, that is for training adaptation. Number 3, let's talk about the injury prevention and management. Knowledge of how the body moves and how forces affect it can help in designing exercises and techniques that minimize injury risk. So, kailangan when you move, you know what will happen to you. Hindi pwede yung galaw ka lang ng galaw. Parang sa pag-ibig lang yan, when you enter in a relationship, you must know that there will come a time that you're gonna feel that you are hurt. Na kailangan mong iset sa isip mo na, dadating yung time, masasaktan ako ng tao na to. Para in ending, hindi ka masyadong malagpak. Hindi ka masyadong masaktan. Kasi you are already expecting that something might happen. So you need to take care of your body as well as your heart. Kapag may jowa ka at gusto mong magka-jowa, kailangan prepared ka din dyan. So, next one, for rehabilitation, physiological principles guide rehabilitation protocols focusing on restoring function and strength while preventing re-injury. An example of this that I can give is, again, si Eliza Valdez. So, I'm a fan of volleyball. So, nanonood kami ng family ko ng live ng PVL sometimes. So, and also, we are watching it sa television. So, si Eliza Valdez, nagkaroon na siya ng knee operation. Nag-rehab na rin siya for her to formally again to play para mag-rehabilitate again yung kanyang knee, as well as Kim Kianadi. Nag-undergo din siya ng surgery sa kanyang knee. So, kailangan niyang mag-rehab or magdaan sa iba't ibang klase ng proseso para ma-regain niya ulit yung power ng kanyang knee. Ngayon, in injury prevention and management, kailangan dito, focus ka na on how you will prevent to having that injury again. Like Eliza Valdez, hindi na siya yung sabi nga ng ibang mga sports analyst, wala na si Eliza Valdez sa kanyang dating laro. Kasi meron na siyang na-experience na injury at hindi niya na to hinahayaan na ma-experience niya ulit para mag-cause naman na hindi na siya makalaro for the long run. Nagigets po natin. So, kailangan when you endure or when you experience an injury, kailangan hindi mo na siya sana hindi na siya maulit-ulit para focus lang tayo sa restoring ng function ulit niya. Para patuloy ulit siyang bumalik sa kung ano ba yung dati mong laro. So, yun po yung injury prevention and management. Number 4, let's talk about nutrition and hydration. Nutritional needs physiology helps in understanding how different nutrients affect performance recovery and overall health, leading to better dietary recommendations tailored to an athlete's needs. Yung mga atleta natin na yan, talagang strict yan. Strict yan sa kanilang diet. Kasi, syempre, may kailangan silang i-maintain na katawan. Hindi dahil gusto nilang maging sexy, hindi dahil gusto nilang maging bato-bato or muscle-muscle yung katawan nila. It's just because kailangan yun kasi they are our athletes. For us, being an ordinary people, kapag gusto mong maging mapayat or gusto mong maging sexy na tinatawag natin, syempre kailangan din alam natin kung ano lang yung kailangan nating kainin or kung ano ba yung nutrients na kailangan nating ipasok lang sa katawan natin. On hydration naman, understanding fluid balance and electrolyte regulation is crucial for preventing dehydration and optimizing performance during exercise. Dito na-experience ko to. As a dancer, hindi naman kailangan laging inom ka ng inom ng tubig. Kasi pag inom ka naman ng inom ng tubig, lalaki yung tiyan mo, bibigat ka sa pagsasayaw. So, kailangan balanse pa din, hindi yung sumosobra. No? Hindi din pwede yung inom ka ng inom ng mga energy drink. Ayan, yung mga umiinom ng Sting, mga ganyan. Masama po sa katawan yan. Sa isip natin, kasi yun yung mga pinapakita sa atin sa commercial na it will help you or magkaka-energy ka, pero in the long run, meron niyang magiging singil sa inyo. So, yung mga pag-inom ng mga electrolyte na yan, may mga singil po sa atin yan. You can drink it, pero wag niyong gagawing tubig, as well as drinking soft drinks. No, wag siyang ginagawang tubig. Gawin natin siya na paminsan-minsan lang or yung parang i-reward mo lang yung sarili mo. Doon pa rin tayo mag-focus sa pag-inom ng madaming tubig. Pero, lagi pa rin nating tatandaan, ang pag-inom ng sobra-sobrang tubig naman is masama din sa ating katawan. Ang hirap, no? Ang hirap lumugar kasi kahit saang part ka pala, kahit anong part pala yung gawin mo, may masamang effect pa rin sa katawan natin. Kailangan lang talaga ng iba yung pag-iingat. So, yun po yung sa nutrition and hydration. For personalized training, individual differences, recognizing that physiological responses can vary widely among individuals, helps in creating personalized training and nutrition plans that are more effective for each athlete. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, each individual is different from each other. It doesn't mean that this training program applies to me, it will apply to other individual or other athletes. Let us all know that we all have individual differences. Understanding stress responses. Physiology provides insight into how the body responds to physical and psychological stress, helping in managing stress levels and improving mental resilience, which is important for peak performance. So, kailangan din alam nating mag-respond sa stress natin. Hindi yung buga ka lang ng buga. Another thing, techniques like VO2 max testing, lactate threshold measurement, and heart rate monitoring are used to assess an athlete's fitness levels and track progress. So, that would be all. That is our topic 2 for MPE5, the physiology of exercise and physical activity. If you have any questions, kindly write it down and let's talk about it next meeting. This would be, I think, meron pang isang topic or hindi ko, kung maisasama ko pa siya for your midterm exam. So, titingnan natin kung ano pa yung mangyayari sa mga susunod na linggo kung meron pa akong madadagdag na topic na included in your midterms exam. And lastly, next po for my announcement, after my discussion, if may idadagdag pa ako na topic, kayo naman ang magdi-discuss. We will have a reporting and I will give the topic per group as well. No? So kayo naman tingnan natin on how you will report or stand in front of me and discuss a specific topic. Para lang din matrain na kayo. Kailangan kasi matrain na kayo na nagsasalita on your own. And also, I will be sending a Google form, an activity that you need to answer within this day. So, yun lang. Again, if you have any questions, kindly write it down and let's talk about it the next meeting. Thank you for listening and I hope you learned something today. Goodbye, everyone.